Buddy, it's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is 1 p.m. on Thursday. So it is time for a video. I'm a little bit live early because I keep trying to go a little bit live early because I'm trying to make sure that YouTube signs in. And then, of course, as soon as I go live early, it signs in immediately. But if I hit the live button right at 1 o'clock, it would take like 15 seconds. So let me get waked up over here on the left side so that I can see what's going on and make sure that I'm transmitilating. I seem to be, so that's a good thing. That's a very, very good thing. All right, so here is my card for today. Hi, Karen. How are you? Hey, Mario and Faith and Renee and Suzette and Marva. Everybody's joining at once. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys coming and spending part of your day with me. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Karen. So a thing happened today. I went about 10 minutes to 12. I came in to put my card, get all the card cuts done. Hey, Carol. Hi, Karen. Hello, everybody. To get all the card cuts done, get my desk cleaned up and get everything set up. And I realized I had a little problem. Don't look at this. This is my card. I picked up my card and I was like, do you guys see what my problem is here? This was the envelope that I very carefully made for this card, but this is the card I made. So you can possibly see the problem here is I made this beautiful, ginormous square card, but I don't do big square cards because I don't have big square envelopes that are prettyfied. And I thought, well, I could probably try to come up with an envelope. I would make it with some of this DSP that I need for Tweed DSP. And then I thought, nope, I don't know those measurements good enough. So I spent the last 45 minutes frantically redesigning this card, which was awesome. Hey, Rosie. Hi, Karen. Oops is right. Oops is actually very right. Nancy, the pony is doing good. She's still a little sore, but I think she's on the road to recovery. It's just going to take her a minute. So anyway, it was a beautiful card. I loved the card. It uses the A Little Cheer stamp set bundle, it just came out with the online exclusives, and it's got these darling little punches, and I was so proud of it. I even showed it to my team last night because I thought it was so cute. And it is very cute, but it will not work as square. So I redesigned it to fit in the A2 envelope that I had made. My envelope was perfect. It was perfect. So I figured I better get a card for it. So I did that. It's a little bit different design because you just can't, no matter what you do, it just looked weird to have well, just trust me, this worked out better. So it's still basically the same. I love the need for Tweed DSP. I really, really love this particular design with the old olive and the cherry cobbler. So I was happy I could make it work, and we're going to do this. Now, if you really, really, really want the measurements for the square card, holler at me and I'll give them to you. But those measurements will not be on my blog. Okay? Sarai. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Possibly I'll make this one correct. We never know. One never, ever really knows these days. I believe that any sanity and brain power that I had in the past appears to have been removed from my brain. Not really sure how or why. Okay. And yes, I did have to have the measurements written on a sticky note because, yeah, I just came up with them. And so, All right, so we're going to start our card base. I'm calling this, so just so you know, I'm calling this a Z-Fold card. Z-Joy-Fold card. You can see it's a Z-Fold is the basic card base, but on the inside, there's a Joy-Fold card. So you could call it a card with a Z-Fold card within a card, whatever you like, but I like Z-Joy-Fold card, and you have to say it with a French accent, even if it's a bad one, like mine. Okay, so we have a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of early espresso, and I am going to score this at 4 1/4, making sure I use my whatever that's called. Yes, the scoring blade, and then you can either extend the arm of your scoring blade out like so and score at 6 3/8 like this, or you could turn it around and score at 2 1/8. So whichever way makes you more comfortable is what you can do. So we'll just go with 6 3/8 like that. All right, and then I can put this, oh well, I will go ahead and do my, I will do the pecan pie card base that I did not cut. Hang on one moment, please. I need a 4 1/4 by 8 piece. Hanging on, be hanging on, you guys. Be hanging on. Don't be leaving. What did I say? 4 1/4 by 8? Yeah, I think so. Ooh. All right, here we go. 4 1/4 by 8. That's 6. Don't do that. Okay, so here's the little card base. So this is going to be the Joyfold card base, if you will. And we're just going to score that at a 4 inches. For those of you who are doing the math, that's halfway between 0 and 8. Okay, so we'll score that. And then we really can put our trimmer away. And we can fold this in half and give it a little burnish. And then this, you're going to fold in half at the 4 1/4. And that's a valley if you're looking at it topographically. And then you'll score the middle score line backwards. All right, just like that. So that is how a Z fold card looks. You can see it looks a little bit like a Z, hence the name, Z fold card. Okay, so now we're just going to put some of our need for tweed, and I've picked 2 coordinating designs. I'm pretty sure I've seen this jacket on somebody on TV not too distantly past. Okay, so we're going to have 3 pieces of the same DSP, and I'm just going to put it on the back and on these 2 fronts, and I was going to try to make this line up. There we go. You don't have to, but it's fun if you can, I think. Alrighty? And it is, in fact, Christmas in July. Thank you, Amy. I don't know if you came in quickly enough to see that I had completely borked up this card and had to rapidly redesign it. So if the math isn't right, I'm just telling you, I don't math quickly. I do math, but I don't math quickly very well all the time. So we'll see what happens. With any luck, I'll get them straightened out for the blog post. Yeah, I feel like a dork. Hi, I'm Mary, and I just started making cards. No, this lesson to you should be, everybody makes a mistake every once in a while, no matter how long you've been doing it. All right, and so we're just putting these on with some liquid glue. And I'm not using any mats, okay, because there's plenty of cardstock in this card. You do not need a mat. So I have my reveals pretty narrow, okay? So where I might have a 1/4 inch off of my measurements, now I only have an 1/8 of an inch off, okay? Okay, so there's our Z fold card. And you can see what's going to happen here. This little guy is going to connect. He's going to be inserted like this. Okay, and then I'll have another piece on the front that will be like so. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our old olive green DSP on here. So this is my green jacket DSP. That's what I'm calling it. Now, this one is not quite square, so you want to be sure you're getting it the right direction when you put it on. And that looks to be right. All righto. Okay. Now, at this point, I just go ahead and put it in because it's not that difficult of a card to put together. So I'm just going to center this top to bottom and left to right. Okay. So top to bottom, left to right. Like that. The only trick is be sure it opens wrong. If it opens the right way, then it's still a card within a card. It's just not a Joyfold card within a card. Gotcha? Yes, Janice, we are doing a little bit of Christmas in July. Yes, ma'am, we are. Okay. So let me show you these cute little punches. This is in a little cheer bundle. And you're going to get the stocking, star, and tree, and they coordinate with the stocking, star, and tree. So you can stamp these and punch them out, or you can do like I've done here. We're just going to do some stamping. And then for my inside, you can see I had one that was with, this is the DSP. So this is Regal's DSP. This is crushed curry. This is cherry cobbler. And then you could use Old Olive for the tree stamp if you wanted. But I kind of liked how the star was going to look in here. So if you take your little punchy punch, this is, these are Stylish Shapes squares. So this one, the white one, is the next to smallest. And then the DSP square is the next largest. Okay, easy enough. So if you take your little white square and just kind of line it up in the center like that. See, I've got an equal amount of that square on either side. And then just punch it out. It's the smidge low, and it doesn't matter a bit because you really can't look at it and go, God, that's a little bit low. Hey, Rosie, hope your appointment went okay. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to center it on my square like so. And then this guy is just going to center. Now, I tried really hard to make those 3 squares work here, but my front Heidi panel would have had to be so big to hide everything behind it. It just didn't make me happy. So I changed it up. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this in the center of this panel with a little bit of liquid glue. You can obviously use Stampin' Seal if you like. The only adhesive I wouldn't use probably here is a dimensional, because as we've discussed, there's plenty of room. There's plenty of thickness. All right, so there's that. And let's go ahead and get our inside. We can get our innards done. I did cut a piece of cardstock in white, but maybe I didn't. Okay, so now I have to cut a piece of white, 3 7/8 by 4 1/8. I'm sorry, guys. I really am. I do attempt to be a little more together when I start, but 3 7/8 by 4 1/8. And my suspicion is that I have this piece sitting somewhere, and then I just didn't grab it, or I tossed it aside or something like that. So this piece is going to be our inside. And again, it's not square, so you're going to want to stamp. Be sure you've got it oriented right before you stamp. Okay. So I'm going to use one of the sentiments from A Little Cheer. And it is going to be the one that says, Christmas time is here. Oh my goodness, you guys, we are on the downhill slide to Christmas. I hate to break it to you, but it's getting there. Okay, so I'm stamping that in crushed curry. If you haven't figured it out, we've got early espresso, pecan pie, old olive, cherry cobbler, and crushed curry on this card. All right. And, oh, thank you, Rose. Hot and humid Minnesota. Yeah, I'll bet it is hot and humid. It is hot and humid pretty much everywhere. And I'm not going to kid you. I'm already ready to be complaining about the cold. All right, there's a little snowflake image in the set, and I'm going to use some old olive and stamp that around the sentiment a few times. Like that. And by a few, I mean 3. And I'm going to adhere that to the inside of this card. What is the paper? That's called a Need for Tweed. I almost said Speed, but I didn't. The Need for Tweed, and it is a new online exclusive product, and it is very, very cool. I love it so much. Okay, so there's the inside of our joy fold. And I'm going to put some stars on there, but we're going to do that after we get a little more of the card done. We'll do that last. We're going to blingify it last. Okay, so for my front, I've got a piece of, be sure I'm putting this on correctly. Actually, this is square. What am I talking about? So I have a piece of pecan pie for the mat, and then a piece of old olive cardstock that's going to be the front. And I'm going to take that snowflake again, and we're going to stamp it randomly all over the front of this piece of old olive. Okay, so we're kind of making our own DSP here. And a little tip to help you stamp randomly is to not be random at all. Use triangles. So when I say to use a triangle, what do I mean? Let me show you. So if I stamped here, and then think about a triangle, okay? The points of a triangle. And maybe not an isosceles triangle. So just points and points. So there's one set. Then make another triangle, like so. And this may be a little bit too much like duh, but I thought I would make it so that you could see what we got. Okay, so it becomes random as you randomly make your triangles. Make sense to everybody? Okay, so let's go back to doing it for reals. Hey, Dina, you like sunny, warm weather. Okay. Well, then I am glad you're getting some. That's what I am happy for. And I am quite certain that once I get cold in the winter, I will be just saying, oh, I wish it was summer. And y'all can just say, Mary, you are a lying liar, because you do not wish it was summer. You like it chilly, unless you're cold and then you want it warm, because I can't be pleased. Do y'all have like a 5-degree happiness temperature range? I do. It's very, very narrow. Very, very narrow. Oh, hey, Rose. I'm glad you ordered that because it is very pretty. Okay, so we are going to adhere this to our mat. And then we will be ready to make our little tags on the front, for the front. Okay. Now, we're going to make two tags. One's going to be a mat and one's going to be our focal point. So I have two pieces of, I have a piece of basic white and a piece of the tweed in our jacket color. And they are 2 inches wide by 3 1/4 inches long. And I'm going to take one of the little trio hole punches. Now, these are not available right this second, but they are supposed to be back around the 21st of July-ish. Okay, yes, exactly. 5 is too wide. You are correct. When I said it, I thought to myself, that is way too much leeway for the temperature. I don't think that's good. So what you want to do is you want to line these up, stack them up, and then just slide your little topper in and center it side to side, make it kind of straight, and then cut both pieces at once. And then you can take your scissors, your paper snips. Oh, Renee, be safe. No, hot and muggy and storms, that's all bad. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to cut a corner right there like that. And then we're going to cut about the same kind of corner right about there. Okay, so we have a very artistic tag, and they are both identically the same. So let's go ahead and get our little design on here. We're going to take the string image from A Little Cheer, and I'm going to stamp it 3 times in pecan pie ink. And we're going to go 1, 2, and 3, like that. All right. Then I'm going to stamp those 3 little images. We're going to start with the star in crushed curry and go 1, 2, 3. Put the crushed curry aside, and then we'll get the stocking in cherry cobbler. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. You can see I'm staggering them on the three strings. And then, let's see, where's my tree and my old olive? 90 degrees. Yeah, that's pushing the tolerance right there. All right, now we're going to use our little tree. Like that. Okay. We can get our cherry cobbler back and we'll stamp our second sentiment. This says sending a little cheer. We're going to put it right on here. Like that. All right. Okay. Now, to make our little taggly, what I did is I took some dimensionales and I just put it on the little mat tag like this. Like that. Okay. And then I lined up the top so it looked like they were stuck together, even though they're going to have a little ribbon, but they really aren't. That's not really doing anything. And so then I have it just like that. Okay, so you have a little bit popped up. It looks a little dimensional. And then we're going to take some of the new old Mossy Meadow and Gold ribbon. I love this ribbon. I love this ribbon. So pretty. We're going to cut a piece and string it through there. Like that. And then take a piece of, where did you go? There we are. Some baker's twine in white, some white baker's twine. And let me show you how I did this. This is what you do because nobody has three hands. Nobody does. No one does. If you do, well, you're going to be a star here. Just take something and hold that down like that. Move that out your way. And then you can just take a little overhand knot and bring it down close to the bottom there. And you can pull it as snug or as not snug as you like. I didn't really make it snug because it's not doing anything. It's purely decorative. And then give that a little pull. And then tidy it up. All right, so that's how you can make you a really cute little bow and ribbon. Hush up, Addie, you don't need to bark. She's sitting back here behind. See, she can't help it. I've tried to tell her the story about the boy who cried wolf, and she is not believing me. She does not understand. We'll be sitting in the living room, and she's going to start to bark like a fool, and it's going to be like a serial killer coming in the house, and we're going to be like, nope, she's just barking for no reason. Okay, so we have that ready to go. What we're going to do here is I'm just going to center this. I want to be sure I have the centering correctly. Let me just double check how I did this on this one. Oh, it's square. I keep thinking it's not square, but it's square. What a dork. Okay, it's been one of those days. So I'm just going to center this on the large card front. Okay, so it's going to be centered on my joy fold, but it's also going to be centered on the large card front. And to do that, I'm going to just take some liquid glue, and I'm just going to roll it right in there. Okay, so you're going to, at this point, you're going to use the squishiness of liquid glue to do the job for you. Because as you wiggle it around, making everything centered, then it's squishing around under there and going to do your adhering for you. Okay, so there you go, just like that. Just like that. And we will adhere this with some liquid glue. And we are almost done, Ski. We're going to put it on like that. And you can get as worried about the straightness of that sentiment as you like or not. It's totally up to you. I don't really care. It looks like a tag. And if you had a tag that was on a gift, the sentiment would be square with the tag, not so much square with the gift. So you can look at that however you wanted, however you like. Okay? So one more thing, we're going to make a couple of little fussy cut sentiments to put on the inside. And then we'll be done for sure, for reals. Done for reals this time. I'm going to take my Cherry Cobbler. Thank you. Cherry Cobbler, and I am going to stamp the word Mary. M-E, not that way. M-E-R-R-Y, not M-A-R-Y. 3 times on a piece of basic white cardstock. That one didn't work out so good. We'll take this one over here. Okay. And I'm just going to cut each of those little sentiments out. Let's put that aside so I don't have a catastrophe of the ink variety. So this is not very scary fussy cutting, just cutting out little rectangulars. The hardest part about these is keeping track of the rectangulars, because that looks like one, but it isn't. And if you turn that over, it would look like it wasn't, but it is. You know what I mean? Did that make sense? Did any of those words coming out of my mouth make any sense at all? Possibly not. All right, so there's a 3, 2, and 3. This, you saw I kind of messed that other one up, so I had to make another one. That is the story of this Thursday, is messing everything up. Y'all got plans for the 4th of July? You doing 4th of July tomorrow, or 4th of July on the weekend? I don't even know. I don't know which one you're doing. We're gonna go from here. After I get done here, I'm going to go to Sam's, and we're gonna get us a brisket and get that cooked up, because we realized that our brisket stash is down like bad, and that needs to be fixed. That's just not gonna work out. Okay, so I'm gonna take these little 3 fussy cutty sentiment guys right here, put a little bit of liquid glue. Apparently I left this open a little bit too long. There we go. And we're just going to kind of randomly, now obviously the first time I did this, I didn't just go right to where I wanted them. I played with it a little bit, right? But this time around, I know where I want them pretty much. Mary, Mary, and Mary. And then I'm going to show you the coolest embellishments. You are going to love them. Okay, so there we go. Now, a new online exclusive. Now these are with the Halloween suite, but they're perfect for this. At least the little white ones are. These are shimmer Starfoam stickers. Okay, so they're new online exclusives, and I just think they're the cutest things. I really wasn't sure I was gonna like them. They had the word foam in them, and I thought, no, that's not good. But they turned out to be really cute. There's 3 sizes in the 3 colors. And so I'm going to use 3 down here on the inside, like that. And all I really kind of want them to stay hidden. I want the joyfold front to be a surprise. Okay. So I've got 3 on the inside, and then I'm putting 5 on the front, because I'm bold that way. So I've got a big one, a medium one, and a small one up here. Get down like that, and then we'll have a medium one and a small one down here. Wait, where'd you go? Did you fall off? No. Okay, there we go. And so there's our card, like that. It's a joyfold, a joyfold. So you have Z and a joyfold on the inside. So let's do a little envelope right quick. And this one's super, super easy. Thanks, Amy. Thank you, Suzette. Thanks. Hey, Ginger, how are you? I'm going to take that little star image again, the snowflake. I guess it technically is a snowflake. And we're going to stamp it a few times. In the corner, in Old Olive, like that. And now I am going to close my ink pads, because I am just asking the ink catastrophe gods to go crazy on me. All right. Yes, as Rosie said, I hope you'll come back on Saturday. I do not know what we're going to make, but I hope you'll like it. And here we go. A little bit of liquid glue on our envelope of flap. And then some of this, I don't know why this appeals to me so much. It looks a little bit like a rug, but I like it. I like it. So we have a jacket and a rug on this card. And then this World's easiest fussy cut. Well, it's not the world's easiest because cutting out those little sentiment words, that was even easier. There weren't even any circles to go around. All right, there you go. So here we have it in the A2 size, which it needed to be in the first place, and then in the ginormous square size, same concept. Okay, so you can make it however you like, but you will have the card cuts and instructions for this tomorrow on my blog. Appreciate y'all taking time with me today, and I will be back on Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your week, and happy 4th of July. Ta.